Ever wake up from a dream and
It's like you just watched an entire movie only to completely forget it 5 minutes later.
oh, totally.
Dreams. We all have them, right?
Yeah.
But they can feel so elusive, mysterious.
Yeah, they are.
So today, we are diving deep into the science of dreams.
Okay.
We're looking at this really interesting article from Medical News Today.
Okay.
It's called Dreams: Causes, Types, Meaning, What They Are, and More. It's got some fascinating points, and I'm really curious to hear your take on them.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically, we want to uncover why our brains conjure up these nighttime narratives
Yeah.
and what, if anything, they can actually tell us.
Right, right. You know, it's funny. For all the progress science has made in understanding sleep,
Yeah.
dreams still hold this kind of special mystery.
Right.
We can, like, track brain waves,
Yeah.
identify different sleep stages, all that.
Yeah.
But pinning down the exact purpose and meaning of dreams,
Yeah.
that's a challenge.
It really is.
So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
We know that sleep happens in stages, 5 to be exact.
Right.
Stages 1 and 2 are like that transition zone where you're drifting off.
Yeah.
Then you've got deep sleep stages 3 and 4. You're basically offline there. But it's stage 5, REM sleep, where things get really interesting.
Okay, so that's where we get those super vivid, sometimes totally bizarre dreams that stick with us.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what's fascinating is even though you might not remember them, you probably dream multiple times a night.
Really?
Maybe even like 3 to 6 times.
Hold on, I could be having an entire season's worth of dreams every night and not even remembering.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's wild. That feels like a cruel joke.
Right.
Okay, but seriously, if we know so much about sleep stages,
Yeah.
why is it so hard to get a handle on dreams themselves?
It's tricky because dreams are so deeply personal
Yeah.
and subjective.
Mm-hmm.
We can observe brain activity during REM sleep,
Right.
but we can't exactly climb inside someone's mind
Yeah.
and experience the dream alongside them, you know?
Right, right.
It's like trying to understand a movie just by looking at the flickering lights on the screen.
Oh.
You get some clues about the plot,
Yeah.
but the real emotional impact,
Right.
the symbolism, that's
Yeah.
all happening within the viewer's mind.
I never thought of it that way. But it's so true. It is like these private screenings our brains put on for us every night.
Yeah.
So given how hard they are to study, how do scientists even begin to explain why we dream in the first place? Like, our source article mentions everything from unconscious desires bubbling up to our brains literally rehearsing for potential threats.
Yeah, and that's what makes this whole field so captivating.
Right.
There's no single universally accepted answer.
Okay.
It's probably a combination of factors.
Right.
But think about it. Your brain is constantly working,
Yeah.
even when you're asleep.
Right.
It has to process emotions, consolidate memories,
Yeah.
and prepare you for, well, the challenges and opportunities of waking life.
Right.
So take the threat rehearsal theory, for example.
Okay.
Some researchers believe that dreams, especially those that involve being chased or facing like a dangerous situation, those might be our brain's way of running simulations,
Interesting.
helping us stay one step ahead of potential threats.
So like a subconscious fire drill.
Yeah, like a fire drill for your subconscious.
Oh,
And I mean,
it's-
who hasn't woken up from one of those dreams?
Oh, yeah.
Like heart racing?
Yeah.
Only to realize it was just a dream.
Right.
But even those like fleeting moments of fear or anxiety,
Yeah.
those might be your brain's way of kind of sharpening its responses,
Interesting.
preparing you to face real life challenges with more,
Yeah.
resilience.
Right. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about like the other stuff?
What do you mean?
Like the weird characters, the nonsensical plots.
Oh, right.
Like, how do those fit into the whole dream equation?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Let's talk about the
Yeah.
the dream lag effect for a moment.
Right.
Have you ever noticed how like something that happens in your waking life,
Mm-hmm.
it might not like show
Yeah.
up in your dreams for days,
Right.
even a whole week later.
Totally. It's like my dreams are running on a delay or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And that delay might
Yeah.
it might hold some clues about how our brains process memories
Oh, yeah.
and weave them into our dreams.
Okay.
It suggests that dreams aren't just about replaying recent events,
Okay.
but like drawing from a deeper well of,
Yeah.
experiences, emotions, and even like long forgotten memories.
Interesting.
Think of it like this. Yeah.
Your waking mind is focused on
Yeah.
like the present moment,
Right.
navigating the here and now. But when you sleep,
Yeah.
your brain has a chance to kind of like sift through all that accumulated data, make connections, and create these new narratives.
Okay.
That might seem strange on the surface,
Right.
but often hold, like hidden meanings.
It's like our brains are these master storytellers.
Yeah.
Just taking these bits and pieces of our lives and like creating these elaborate, sometimes surreal films just for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of those bizarre films, let's talk about like the characters that populate our dreams.
Okay.
Our source article mentions this fascinating tidbit.
About 83% of the characters in our dreams are actually based on people we know or recognize.
Really? So not entirely random strangers.
No, not really. It's more like
Okay.
our brains doing a weird casting call with all the people we've ever met, you know?
So it's like using those people that we know as like building blocks.
Exactly.
For the dream.
It's not necessarily about the specific individuals themselves, but about what they represent to us,
Gotcha.
the roles they play in our lives.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But even with, familiar faces, dreams can still get really strange.
Oh, absolutely.
Yet, according to this research, only about 14% of those characters exhibit, like, bizarreness. So, our dreams may be more grounded in reality than we think?
Okay. Our dreams might borrow from our waking lives, but they also have this, like, amazing capacity to create entirely new scenarios and possibilities. It's like our brains are saying, okay, we know these people, we've experienced these emotions. Now let's see what happens when we put them all in a blender and hit pulse.
And hope for the best.
Right.
That's great.
But speaking of those dream scenarios, let's talk about some of the most common themes that pop up in dreams across cultures, demographics.
Right.
Our source article mentions a few big ones.
Okay.
And I bet you've experienced at least one of these yourself.
Okay.
First up,
Yeah.
being chased or pursued.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
That's like my dream signature move.
Yeah.
Running away from something, whether it's a monster, a shadowy figure, or even just like a deadline I'm trying to outrun.
It's a classic, and for a reason. That feeling of being chased, it can tap into our like primal fears, anxieties about, vulnerability, or even just the everyday pressures we face.
Right.
Think about it. Like, what are some of the things that cause us stress in our waking lives?
Right.
Deadlines at work, relationship conflicts, financial worries. All of these can kind of trigger that feeling of being pursued. Yeah. Even if it's not a literal chase.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm guessing it doesn't even have to be, like, a negative thing.
Right, yeah.
Like, maybe sometimes those chase dreams are our brains urging us to go after something we want, to pursue a goal or ambition.
You're exactly right. It's about understanding, like, the context of the dream, the emotions it evokes, and how it might be reflecting our, like, waking concerns or aspirations.
Okay.
Speaking of common dream themes, let's talk about another big one.
Okay.
School, teachers, exams, the whole shebang.
Oh, yeah.
Why are we always back in the classroom?
I know, right? Even years after graduation.
Don't get me started. I haven't taken a math test in years, but my dreams seem to think I'm back in high school, sweating over a geometry problem.
It likely goes back to those, like, formative experiences, those early tests of our abilities.
And anxieties about performance. School is often our first experience with structured learning, deadlines, and, like, being judged on our performance.
Yeah, for sure.
So even if we loved school, those early experiences can leave a lasting impression on our subconscious.
Right.
And for those who struggled, those anxieties about tests and deadlines might, like, resurface in our dreams as a way of, processing those old fears.
So it's not really about the algebra. It's more about, like, the underlying anxieties about performance and judgment.
Precisely.
Okay.
And just like with those chase dreams, it's important to look at the emotions behind the dream.
Okay.
Are you feeling anxious, stressed? Or are you feeling like a sense of accomplishment or mastery?
Right.
Those feelings can provide like valuable clues about what your dream is trying to tell you.
So dreams are like these emotional puzzles.
Yeah.
And we have to piece together the clues to understand the message.
Exactly. And just like with any good puzzle, sometimes it takes a bit of time and reflection to see the bigger picture.
Right, okay. Okay, so we've talked about, like, being chased through the halls of our old high schools.
Right.
But it turns out
Yeah.
not everyone's dreams are filled with the same, like, cast of characters and scenarios.
Absolutely, yeah. Dream content can vary dramatically.
Okay.
Based on everything from, like, age and gender to cultural background, personal experiences, all that.
So, like, children, for example.
Yeah.
With their, like, vivid imaginations and, they're still developing their understanding of the world.
Right.
They often have dreams that are full of, like, fantastical creatures, magical adventures.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A real sense of boundless possibility.
Exactly. Yeah. Their world is still so open to interpretation.
Right.
It's like their dreams are reflecting that.
Right.
That sense of wonder and limitless potential.
Okay. Yeah.
And as we, go through different life stages, our dreams kind of tend to reflect those transitions and challenges.
So, like, pregnant women, for instance.
Yeah, exactly.
But often report dreaming about, like, childbirth.
Right.
They're changing bodies and all the, like, anticipation and anxieties that come with, impending parenthood.
Right. It's true.
Okay.
Their dreams become this, like, incredibly personal reflection of, profound transformation they're experiencing.
So our dreams are kind of like these internal mood rings.
Yeah.
Changing color based on what's going on in our lives.
Exactly.
But what about people who haven't had the same, like, sensory experiences as others? Do their dream worlds kind of reflect that difference?
This is where it gets even more fascinating.
Right.
Research suggests that even people with sensory impairments have dreams that are, like, uniquely tailored to their individual perceptions.
So, for example, individuals who are blind often report having dreams with heightened sound, touch, smell, taste.
It's like their dreams become incredibly immersive, sensory experiences that engage those senses that are so vital to, like, navigating their waking lives.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like their brains are finding ways to, like, compensate to create these rich sensory experiences within the dreamscape.
Yeah.
Even if these senses aren't available to them.
Right, exactly.
In their waking lives.
That speaks to the brain's incredible, like, plasticity and adaptability.
Okay.
And here's where it gets even more mind-blowing.
Okay.
People who are deaf or have paraplegia sometimes report dreaming of, like, hearing, speaking, walking, even running activities they've never experienced in their waking lives.
Wow, to think that our brains can generate such, like, vivid, even seemingly impossible experiences while we sleep.
It's wild.
It really makes you wonder what those dreams must feel like.
It really does.
For them,
It challenges our very understanding of reality, really.
Yeah.
And the brain's capacity to not only, like, mirror our waking experiences, but to create entirely new ones that, like, transcend the limitations of our physical bodies.
Okay.
Like, our brains are saying, hey, even though you haven't experienced this physically, we can still simulate it, explore it, learn from it within the, boundless realm of dreams.
It's like having, like, a whole other dimension of experience unlocked while we sleep.
Yeah.
But for all the amazing, like, potential insights dreams seem to offer, it's so frustrating how quickly we tend to forget them.
I know.
We're talking about losing, like, around 90% of a dream within the first 10 minutes of waking up.
It's true.
Why is that?
It's one of the biggest mysteries
Really?
in dream research.
Wow.
Yeah. Some theories suggest it has to do with, like, the shift in brainwave activity as we transition out of REM sleep and back to our, more logical, language-oriented waking state.
So, like, switching gears.
Yeah, it's like our brains are switching from a, like, visual, symbolic mode of communication back to a more, linear, analytical one.
So it's not just about forgetting. It's like our brains are, like, translating from one language to another.
Exactly.
And sometimes those translations get lost in the process.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And it makes you appreciate those times when a dream does manage to, like, stick with us.
Right. Yeah.
Those, like, vivid images.
Yeah.
Or those powerful emotions that kind of linger.
Yeah.
Even after we've opened our eyes, those are the dreams that often hold, the most meaning for us.
Right.
The ones that offer glimpses into our, deepest fears, desires, unresolved emotions, all that.
It's like our subconscious is trying to get our attention.
Right.
Like it's trying to deliver an important message.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe the dreams that stick with us.
Yeah.
Even if they're fleeting.
Yeah.
Those are the ones we need to pay attention to the most.
Precisely.
Okay.
And even if we don't remember, like
What?
every detail,
Mm-hmm.
the emotions, the themes, the recurring symbols,
Yeah.
all of that,
Right.
that populates our dreams,
Wow.
can still offer like valuable clues
Right.
about what's going on,
Okay.
beneath the surface of our
Yeah.
waking lives.
So where does this leave us?
Yeah.
The dreamers, the forgetters,
Right.
the perpetually curious.
It seems like we've learned a lot,
We have.
but there's still so much we don't know about dreams,
There really is.
And that's what makes this field so exciting.
It is.
But I think the most important takeaway is this.
Okay.
Even if we don't have all the answers, paying attention to our dreams can offer incredible insights to our own minds.
Right.
It's about,
Right.
making that connection
Okay.
between our inner and outer worlds.
It's about learning to listen to that quiet voice within.
Yes.
The one that speaks to us in symbols and metaphors
Yes.
and, fleeting images.
Exactly.
So tonight, when you drift off to sleep,
Yeah.
why not, set an intention to remember your dreams?
Right.
Keep a notebook by your bed.
Yeah, yeah.
Jot down those fleeting images and emotions
Right.
as soon as you wake up.
Exactly.
You might be surprised by what you discover about yourself along the way.
Absolutely.
And on that note, sweet dreams, everyone.
Sweet dreams.